Namaste and greetings from Nepal. This is for the Ukrainian people. So, in our social media and all, what we have seen is there has been more positive news about the Ukraine, the president of Ukraine, and the people of Ukraine, how they talked, how they interacted in with the U.S. president. So you have to know one thing is whatever happens in White House is more or less scripted. There are so many things being carried out earlier, and then you meet the Mr. President Donald Trump. So you have seen earlier how the delegates from the UK, from the France, from the India, from Jordan, they met uh, Trump, the President Trump. So you can see those interaction and discussion were more scripted. So you can see the power of USA, the Mr. Trump, and the French delegates. They raised some questions. British also some questions. The Indian premier was not raising that much of question. But when you came and you raised a question, and I think why the Ukrainian representative was very angry was due to the vice president. No, when the two presidents are talking and someone comes against the protocol, then you were more angry on that. And even when the vice president was in Europe, he was talking about the freedom of speech and freedom of everything, and they don't allow in White House. They don't allow the freedom of speech. They don't do that. So you can see my earlier YouTube where I clearly said that US is interested in Ukraine only due to the rare elements, rare materials and all, and your food production and all. So that's why they want they want themselves to be there at your area. So one of the research has said already said that you have more than 7 trillion USD raw materials in that area. So there are two or three things the Ukrainian people can do. So one, it's very, it will be very difficult for you, but still, the first point I want to communicate is why don't you talk directly to the Russia regarding the benefit sharing of the rare materials, rare elements, whatever is found there. So why don't you talk to Russia and do the business with the Russia itself? Because the whole pipeline issue, the natural gas, everything comes to you through you to the Euro from Russian soil. So why don't you talk with them and do the business with the Russia itself? You can see there is a pro-Russian trend going on in the countries like Romania and Germany. So it's a pro-Russian regime. They are even coming in the political power in few years also. So the Russia is growing, and you can see that in Africa, in Middle East, and the U.S. The U.S. is most afraid of because, like Ukraine, like other countries who are secondary, like primary nations. We don't like Nepal and all. We are not a primary nation that has real power. So US is always afraid of the primary nations, like US is afraid of Russia, US is afraid of China mainly. So Iran, it's like a secondary, but primary is Russia and China. So when Russia and China are coming together, so US has a huge problem. So this you have been scapegoat from the US to balance the power being shifted due to Russia and China. But you are also better than the most of the European countries because your rare materials and all more than 7 trillion, and you are one of the main places for the food production and all. Second, your Ukrainian army is one of the largest army. Third, you already you did have a nuclear power too, but it was just you just sacrificed that power, but you have the capacity to do that also. So it's the time to show what Ukraine is all about. So in my earlier video also, I interacted about the Russian, the most of the uh, eastern part, which has a language similarity, culture similarity with the Russia. So you need to talk like you both are. Russia and Ukraine are both like elder brother. So in Nepali we say when two brother quarrel, then the third person will take the benefit. So it's a USA and Europe. Now Europe also learned from President Trump how to take a benefit. So you recently got around $2 billion from UK, but that is mostly by freezing the account of the Russian corporates in Europe. The similar goes for Russia also. They can also freeze the investment from the Europe and US in Russia in some different names or something like that. So, so I request you all, the Ukraine people, the main person in Ukraine, I think you can go for the election. It's the right time to go for the election because you can really know the voices of the people, choices of the people, and this Trump interaction also will help the existing leadership to gain garner some more votes and all. So it's better to go because it's better to go for the election right now and start talking directly with the Russia. Two brothers can quarrel, two brothers can always say anything to anyone. So, but still, I see more possibility of rather than beginning Europe or US to negotiate. Why don't you two both negotiate with all? And another thing is the interest of US now. Why US is playing like that? Because US always wants the dollar thing, and they are they are going for the tariff, more on tariff issues. So, and they spent a lot for you, and they spent for their own uh, army, one war economy, and all. You get something out of that. And bigger question for you is like the Trump. You can ask the Trump like, if US was not there with you, then the war should have been end in 2 weeks. But when US was with you, why the war didn't end it in 1 month? Why it's taking three years? So it's a politics. It's all about politics and making you isolated and getting what the resources the Ukraine has. So we Nepali, because we are also between two largest nations like India and China. So there is different regional geopolitics going on. So lots of Nepali have shown a good faith on you for the Ukraine and Ukrainian people. From my side, I have to say that you, Ukraine, Russia, because they all were USSR earlier, so it's a part of a brotherly relation between you two. So you two brother need to identify. I can't say who is wrong, who is right. There are different situation because it all depends upon the people who are in that area. You know, the main people, the voices and choices of the people. I am reiterating that the people from your eastern side are inclined to the Russian culture and Russian languages and also it's now you have to show those people that Ukraine still holds a nation for them, and why not Russia and Ukraine come together and do a business? So we have to learn from the, I don't call it the evil mindset, but you have to learn from that. So I wish Ukraine, because I always feel personally, I always feel for the people who are left alone. So So I was also bored because I thought it's a scripted. Making Ukraine like that, feel Ukraine humiliated was a kind of a scripted. No, and we saw what happens inside the White House. No, so outside when they come together or have a kind of a joint press conference, everything looked good and professional. But inside the story, what's inside story was shown to the whole world. So best wishes for Ukraine. You are a nation. You are a sovereign nation, which been fighting the war with your own brother. So both of you try to get something, and I think Zelensky, your leader, need to walk out with the earlier president, earlier ex president, and all, because they will know they and somebody who have a good network and good influence with the Russia also, with the Europe also, with the President Trump also. I'm sorry to say that from the 3 years, what the Ukraine people did was to trust the US and Europe that they'll fight back for you. So that's the major mistake you have done. Nobody fights with you until and unless there is some incentive or something that you can get in. So US, UK, and all is going that. And I also want to talk to you Ukrainian people. So you saw this thing, so you have to link with the two-state solution with the between the Israel and Palestine, because you have been very vocal with the Israel people. So I really wish you people to come out with something so that so you can show the solidarity, because they are also isolated, like Palestine people also isolated, like even the Ukraine is isolated. Now I wonder if Taiwan will get isolated. Also, things are changing drastically. That the nation with the less power, the second nation, third nation with the less power are getting isolated. So, so all the best. So have a kind of a meeting with the pros and cons within the Ukraine, and bring the people who has a geopolitical knowledge, the earlier president and all, so bring them together. And the western part is all of the Ukraine is already inclined with the Western culture and all. I said it that in my earlier video. So now it's time for you to talk with the Eastern people, what they want, and try to prove yourself strong on that. So that will be the most possible solution, instead of getting humiliated by the Europe, by US and all. And I see Ukraine as one of the powerful nation. You have the power, but you lost the power due to this trust issue with the Europe and US. So that's all to say. And if anything is there that can be contributed from my side, I will be always be there. Thank you so much.